What's up, guys? So today we're going to be setting up Facebook OAuth. That way we can log in using our Facebook account and set that up on a GraphQL server. So I'm going to show you how to do this on any Express server though. It doesn't matter if you're using GraphQL, if you're not using GraphQL. If you have a Node.js Express server and you want to know how to set up Facebook OAuth, this is the video for you. We're going to go the whole process so you can learn how to do it. So the first thing you want to do is go to developers.facebook.com, and we actually need to make an app that we're going to be using. And also, I recommend installing ngrok. We're going to be using this as a tutorial, and it makes it really easy to work with Facebook's OAuth system and because we're going to have to create what's called a webhook, and ngrok helps us do that very easily. So when you get to this page, make an account and go ahead and add a new one. I'm just going to call mine GraphQL test and type in this thingy, and we're going to have a new Facebook app. So now this is also where you would go if you want to create like a Facebook Messenger bot, but we're not doing that today. All you need to do is go to dashboard and get your app ID and your app secret. We're going to use those two. And in your settings, you're also going to need to add an app domain. We don't need these values quite yet, but just have them handy. To do the whole, OAuth thingy, we're actually going to use a library called Passport, and the specific Passport library we're going to use, or strategy is what they call them, is Passport Facebook. That makes it super easy. So we're going to install this on our server, and this is all the code it looks like. So we give them our credentials, and then we have a callback function of how we handle the data Facebook gives back to us, and then we can authenticate. And that is it, guys. That's all you need to do to get this set up. It's actually very fast, very easy. So let's pop over here and actually do this. So here I have the code up for my server, and I'll put starter code in the description below if you want to use what I'm using, but you could follow along with really any Express server. I have a lot of extra code here. You don't need any of that. So first, let's install those libraries though. So we're gonna do Passport and Passport Facebook. And then you're gonna come over here and you wanna import both of them. So import Passport from Passport, import Facebook strategy from Passport Facebook. Nice. And then we can just copy this. Oops, we're not going to put it up here, but we're going to put it here. Oh, actually, we're going to need to do this before or after we make our app. Cool. All right, so here is where you're going to want to put in your client ID and your client secret. I'm going to go ahead and just stick those in here. So ideally, you want to keep both of these things secret. I'm just going to delete this application after I'm done making this video. So it's fine, I'm showing you my secret, but normally you do not want to have your secrets just sitting here out like this. People can basically make API calls because of it. And we also need to specify an app domain and a callback URL. So that's where ngrok comes on. So this server is going to run on localhost 3000. So what I'm going to do is in a new tab, so I'm going to start up the server, not right now, but in the future I'm going to start up the server, and then I'm going to open it up on port 3000. So I'm going to run ngrok HTTP 3000 because I'm going to be running ngrok on that port. And what that does, if you're not familiar with ngrok, is it basically gives you a URL, and now you can access your server that you have on localhost at this URL. And that's actually what we're going to give to as one of our app domains. What we're going to use, and we need to use for our callback URL. So paste it in here. So instead of localhost 3000, what you're going to put is this ngrok URL /auth Facebook callback is good. And now I'm not going to worry about creating a database object right now. All I want to do is I want a console.log profile so I can see, hey, what information is Facebook giving me back? Okay, so, and it wants you to pass a user back and if there's an error, we can just pass in null, no error, and an empty object for the user for now. Or if we wanted to, we could pass the profile down too. Either one would work. All right, so next thing we want to do, if we come back over to just the README, is create 2 routes. And by the way, these routes are customizable. What's important is you want this /auth/Facebook callback to be the same as this one. This one is actually where you go to start the whole process. So /auth/Facebook, but you could call this /login with Facebook, you know, anything you wanted to call it. You can just call it login if you wanted to. Maybe I'll just leave that as, we'll call it f-login for Facebook login. And then so we go to passport, we're going to authenticate Facebook. That's good. That just basically starts, hey, when we go to this URL, we want to make an OAuth to Facebook. And then here, we just want to change, you can keep this failure redirect if you want to. And that just, if it, like it says, if there's a failure, that's what it sends it to. I don't need it. I don't really want it. But I do not use sessions, so it's important to put session equal false here, or colon false. And then I'm fine keeping this callback, that's good. And I'm not going to have a redirect, I'm just going to do response.send auth was good. And you can console.log auth good too. So we don't even need a console log because we're going to send it back. All right, and then we have our callback here where we're printing to the console the profile. So we're going to see, and by the way, guys, we're all set to go. That was all the code we needed to do. One last thing is just to initialize everything. So app.use and then passport.initialize. And then just note app is what my express is called. All right, so we're all set up. So if I did this all correctly, we can give it a try. So what we want to do is we want to go to this URL /flogin to start things off. So if I have it still in my URL, oh, and I don't. So copy this, paste, and I can go to flogin. Oh, and I need to start up my server. So as you can see, we got an error because the server is not set or started. Now we're actually listening for requests, but you might get this error if you don't start up your server. So make sure you start up your server. Now if we do flogin, you'll notice, bam, it comes over here to Facebook. But as you can see, we're getting a domain of this URL isn't included in your app domains. So that's a problem you can get if you don't set your app domains. And I think, okay, it's just going to take us back. Come back over here to Ngrok. We just need to add this to our settings here. I just didn't hit save changes, I think, because we have it right here. Please correct these URLs. App domain must match the domain of Facebook. Oh, I think maybe we need to do Facebook website, site URL. I believe that's all we need to do. Not this app domain because it's actually not an app. Let's put it at both places. I'm actually not 100% sure whether it's this or this one that it needs. But let's give it a try, see if it's working now. Flogin. And cool. So this is what you'll see if it successfully worked, is I'm a user logging in. So it's going to be, hey, this app, this is our app that we, so name it, you know, a good name and stuff, because this is what users are going to see. GraphQL test would like to see your profile. And then what I can do is I can click continue as Ben, and we'll actually get redirected back to the site and say auth was good. And if I come back over here to console, hey, I can see this JSON object, which we're console logging here. And you can see here's my profile from Facebook. So as you can see, some of my information I just haven't filled out on Facebook, but if the user has filled that out, they would see it there. But we have this ID, and then we have a display name, And what we can use with this data is to actually create a user for them. Now that we have their, their login for their Facebook login, basically. They click that button, we can log them in using that. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you see how easy it is to add Facebook auth, and you will try it on your website. Next video, what I want to do is actually show you how I recommend storing this in a database. We're just kind of console logging this profile here. The next step is to actually create a user from this, store it in the database, and so that's what I'm going to be showing you guys in the next video. And also good to note, you're going to do the same thing whether you're doing Facebook, whether you're doing Google, whether you're doing GitHub. Any of those, all those have OAuth features that you can do similar to this and that you can plug in. In Passport, you can use the same library with those too. It makes it very easy to integrate in. So I recommend giving those a shot. I challenge you to get those set up. And if you have any questions or trouble setting those up, let me know and I can make another video for those too. But it should be very similar to Facebook, and you should be able to get them working pretty easily. But pretty cool, right? We just got data straight from Facebook. So that's pretty nice. And the same thing is you can get from the other companies. So that's it for this. I'll see you guys in the next video.